ferry ride from Dover to Calais, the Range Rover decided now was a brilliant time to have a flat battery. Hello and welcome to day one of our Arctic Circle tour. Now, I chucked out the message quite some time ago asking if anybody would like to come to the Arctic with me, and I quite literally had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of emails and requests and messages asking for more information. And at one point I thought, oh no, what have I done? I'm going to clog up the roads of Scandinavia and end up on the news for causing an absolute gridlock. Fortunately, as more people found out more information, timings didn't fit or their vehicle wasn't ready, etc, etc, and the number dropped significantly. We've still got quite a large group coming with us though. So we're day one today. We've got the ferry over from Dover to Calais last night. There's 5 of us in this group. We're now heading to Datgen in Germany, where we're going to meet the group that have come over from the Hull to Rotterdam ferry. So we'll meet up with them. Then tomorrow we're going to set off up towards Sweden and meet the next group of vehicles, which are a bit more spread out through Sweden, so we'll pick them up one by one as we're going along. And then we've got some more to pick up in Norway as well. So we'll finish off the trip as one large group. I won't tell you how many vehicles we've got exactly with us just yet. I'll let you figure that out. But we're going to have a fantastic trip. The boring and the monotonous part though is getting up to Sweden itself first, because we have to go from Calais, France, Belgium, the Netherlands, Germany, Denmark, and we're just passing through those countries, so we're not actually stopping at any of them, which means we've got hundreds and hundreds of miles of monotonous motorway driving to do first. So I'll catch up with you in Datgen. Good morning and welcome to day 2 of our Arctic tour. So we're currently in Datgen, which is north of Germany, just north of Hamburg, and we had our first proper breakdown last night, which is extremely disappointing, especially for the guy whose car it was. Luckily it happened at our stop just as we arrived into Datgen, so he wasn't stuck at the side of the autobahn or anything silly like that. So he's waiting for recovery. He's going to wake up this morning and hopefully get recovery sorted this morning. We think it's just a prop shaft, so hopefully he'll get back on the road in the next couple of days and be joining us. But let's get up and get on the road. Right, this is this morning's camp over, or last night's camp over. So the other group are currently up in Copenhagen at the moment. We'll go and see if we can catch up with them today. And as you can see, we're rather conveniently stopped near a McDonald's. So rather than make coffees and breakfast, I think we're going to head there and get some breakfast, which will be nice. Get us on the road nice and quick as well. But unfortunately, the ill-fated Range Rover there has lost his prop shaft, so he's going to wait for recovery. Recovery might turn up while we're still here, hopefully, and we can see him off rather than leave him on his own here at the McDonald's. If he manages that. So, good, yeah. James's Range Rover's just been picked up on the lorry from our overnight stop, and
still smiling.
He's still smiling. But you reckon you'll be back on the road soon?
Yeah, hopefully, yeah. So it's going to be taken over to the workshop of the recovery company rather than Land Rover. He said it's quite a simple fix, so as long as you can get the part in, we should be good to go. But they won't go work on it till Monday, today being Sunday. So any luck, we should be on the road by lunchtime if they get the part in and everything. So fingers crossed.
Good to see the AA. Happy days.
Yeah.
Good to see the AA out here, yeah. Yeah. See how many more of us end up on the back of a lorry.
yeah.
Now that was a stupid thing to say, because just a couple of 100 miles down the road, as we started getting into Odense, my Defender decided it would have a go at breaking down. Right, we're currently in Odense, coming between Denmark and Sweden, and bearing's gone, completely mashed up on the inside, so got to fit a new bearing. We've got the old stuff off. We'll get the old racers out the tyre, start fitting the new one now. Yeah, that's both the racers out. So we've got new bearings and racers to go in. And the best thing you can do when putting new racers in is get an old race and cut a slit down the middle of it, and you can use that as a shim to tap the new race for your new bearings in. That way it won't get stuck in there and you can pull it out nice and easy. Right, that's one race in. Now we'll get the second one. And with my wheel bearing now replaced, we can get back on the road. You probably are wondering why I've got tape and insulation up on top of me. For this Arctic trip, I have insulated the car inside out, which is something you have to do. And on the last trip, one of the biggest things I found was the issue was A, the front flaps, and you'll see I've taped them all up to stop the wind coming through, and B, my sunroof. So that's just a piece of glass which is a massive conductor of heat, so I was losing loads of heat through there. Also it was getting very wet with condensation, and I could feel the cold on my head when I was driving along. So I've put this temporary insulation up there. It's just a temporary job. It looks a mess, but it works really well. And if you can grab yourself a little small piece of foam, stick it over it, it's a job done really. Don't need anything expensive. Some other things I've done is I've taped up joints and holes all around the sides here, and you'll see those alpine windows at the back there. I've put more insulation along them as well, because they were filling up with water. The way to stop it though is to push your insulation right up against the glass. If it's not making contact with the glass, you'll have a little air gap there, which is just going to exaggerate your issue, and you'll have even more condensation there. So make sure that it is making contact with the glass, otherwise it just won't work. Right, day 3, we still haven't met up with the other group yet due to some breakdowns that I suffered. So, good news though, it's snowing. But here's all the crew here. So let's crack on, see if we can get at least a good day's drive behind us today and try and make some time up. Now we've driven about 1,400 miles. We're still in the south of Sweden currently. Unfortunately, we've had 3 breakdowns, which isn't great, but you know, we have to press on. One of the vehicles unfortunately has had to be repatriated back to the UK because the parts just aren't available. So the second vehicle to break down was my truck, this one. Wheel bearing collapsed on it. I've had a second minor fault where my door striker has decided this is a great opportunity to come loose. So now I've got gaps forming, as you can see at the top in the corner, as they're letting a lot of cold air in. In addition to that, there's a series 101, which is currently halfway up through Sweden. He broke down with an eye to the pulley, but luckily he managed to get some parts for that and get himself back on the road, which is fantastic. So the group I'm with, we are slightly delayed currently. We are about a day behind where we should be. So that means the group that was in front of us, they've moved on now, and they're heading up towards Jokkmokk, which is where we were supposed to be landing tomorrow morning. They're going to get there tonight, and we should be getting there tomorrow evening. I don't know if they're going to hang on for us or not. It's quite a long time to hang on for in the cold and the snow in a desolate place really. So we'll see and play it by ear as to what happens with that. We might meet him a bit further on. As you can see, we haven't hit much snow yet. There is the odd patch and little dustings around the place, but the good thing is we are getting some snow, which is what we want out of this trip and what we want to get from heading up into the Arctic. There will be plenty more to come. So we're going to carry on driving, and hopefully we can make some good headway today and get about halfway up through Sweden, where we should get the nice ice cold and snow, and it will really start feeling like an Arctic tour then. And hopefully, fingers crossed, we don't have any more breakdowns on this trip. It's the last thing we want. Tempting fate there again, Chris. Now, the road stayed relatively clear for pretty much the whole of day 3, right up until the evening. when the snow and the heavens completely opened up. So conditions have now changed somewhat, and we've been slowed right down to about 15 miles an hour because this snow is coming down thick and fast. This tarmac was clear just a few minutes ago, so yeah, it's this is what we've come here for. So problem of tonight is A, the snow and the ice, but B is the snow gets pushed to one side of my screen by my wipers, then forms a solid ice block, which is very frustrating, and I can't quite reach it because I've got my snorkel in the way, so I keep on having to pull over to clear it. So this is going to be a long old journey right now because we're slowed down really slow, as you can probably tell from the camera. Well, problem number 2 was, after the ice was building up on this side here, it got too much for the wiper and broke it, so I've had to cable tie it on. This is just turning into an absolute nightmare. Right, back on the road. A few minutes later, however, and we are back to the same position.
In the heart, if you like.
Was that? I couldn't help for another. I don't know the words, but it goes along with that, does it? Right, we've just pulled over again because my snow has got so bad it's completely chocking up our wipers and windscreens. Right, let's get up here and clear all this off. So you can see it's like going everywhere. This is really slippy now. I can't even stand up. Oh, get rid of all that. Look how thick it is. As the snowfall cleared, we began to have some appreciation for the hostile environment that we were about to enter. This was just a taster of what was to come. It was now gone 11 PM. We had been driving since 9 AM. Tired and exhausted, we found a place to camp for the night and set up camp.